Good morning. I'm out on another walk and I've been asking my guides, what should I talk about? And the way I went about that was I would just say a word or, something would pop into my head. I'd say it and I just would feel into it. When I said the word forgiveness, I felt that uprise of energy. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And honestly, I don't have a clue what it's going to include, but I'm turning it over to them and we're going to let them come through with whatever they want. The first thing that comes to my mind when I think of the word forgiveness is a little bit triggered because as being raised a Baptist and then Pentecostal, it was like forgiveness at all cost. You need to turn the other cheek no matter how black and blue and bloody that cheek is. And I now know there's no way that that is what they're talking about. I want to talk about a new definition of what does that mean? What is the energy of forgiveness? Because I also know that hanging on to wrongs and hanging on to situations that have upset you, hurt you, damaged you in any way, hanging on to them doesn't hurt the person that did it a bit, but it definitely has an impact on us. We talk all the time about establishing your frequency, and I know 100% that the frequency that I am vibrating at is what is creating my world. I have a new understanding of that is far beyond what I've ever understood. But what I do know, to make it simple, is that the higher our frequency, the more beautiful the creation before us. And I think we all can agree on that. And when we're holding, I'm going to say the negative end of the spectrum, the negative end of the emotional scale. My hair looks like heck. When we're holding those emotions and we're not doing anything to transmute them, we're just holding them. We're mad, we're hurt, they suck, boom, that's it. And we just keep going over all the reasons why we're mad, they suck, and they hurt us. And when we're in that energy, it is not an energy of creation. Oh, yes, it is actually. They just super tune that thought. It is absolutely an energy of creation, but it's not the energy of creation for what we would choose if we could consciously choose it. I started to say it's not the energy for our highest good. And they even, in my mind, they corrected me on that. Because if we did create that negative experience, or if that negative experience was drawn in due to our frequency, it 100% would be for our highest good. And that is one of the greatest lessons that they're teaching us right now, is really understanding that what is right in front of you is for you. And when you learn to adjust your perception, which will then affect your frequency, oh, it's a powerful thing. It is a very powerful thing. So say we have something that has hurt us. I know that part of my journey has been around identifying the emotions that I have not allowed myself to experience throughout my life, to identify those emotions and to feel those emotions to whatever degree I need to feel them. And I think about Sarah Landon and the council, and they talk about people getting stuck in the fourth dimension, the fourth dimension being that dimension of transformation. And I understand that. I see exactly the truth that they speak, and it absolutely is the truth, because there is a point of moving on from that. When you have done the work, you don't have to keep reaching in and reaching back and redoing it. You know when you've done the work. But anyways, that said, if you have things that are deliberately and intentionally, through the support and encouragement of your non-physical team, causing this emotion to kind of tickle at you or niggle at you, that is a call to, for me right now, to feel whatever the emotion is. Now, feeling and expressing an emotion does not mean inappropriate behavior. It doesn't mean that you have to hurt someone else to make you feel better. That is the opposite of what they are encouraging me to do. But they are encouraging me to express it in whatever way I need to in the moment. And I gotta say, I'm needing to holler a little. And I've slatted around quite a bit. And, I'm speaking my truth. I'm speaking my truth when I get angry. I'm not buttoning it up. I am letting it express. Now, do I choose to be someone who hits people when I'm angry? No, I don't want to be that person. I don't choose that. So I'm not going to align with that. But I am going to align with holding space for myself in love to express the emotion. So now let's go back to the topic. We have been hurt. You need, and they don't often say the word need, but in this case, I feel like it is really appropriate and maybe even to be overlaid with saying you're being invited. You're being invited to identify what you're feeling about the situation and let yourself feel it and hold yourself in love while you do that. Let yourself with love and kindness. Remember that talking between me and me, holding yourself in just unconditional love while you are angry, while you hate, while you say everything that you want to say about this person in your mind to that person if need be. Process out your feelings, let your feelings out. And when you feel it start to settle, ask your inner child, are we done, honey? Are you okay now? Have you felt all the grump that you need to feel? And see what she says. For me, I had in the last time that I had this experience, she wasn't done. And I actually said to Michael, plug your ears, I'm gonna scream. And we were in the hot tub, he went underwater, and I just bellowed out a primal scream, just a scream. And he came up and I asked in my mind, I said to my inner child, okay, how do you feel now? It was like, yes, I felt better. I was able to let that, I was able to be done. I guess I'm going to say be done with the energy of the anger. But when the next thing that came around was when I thought about the situation, I still had feelings about it. I still had my chest, my heart, my solar plexus was giving me nudges. I knew I wasn't done with whatever it was. And so I settled into myself and I asked my inner child, honey, is there more anger there? No, didn't feel like that. And then I said, what are you feeling? And I realized I was feeling sadness. I was feeling sadness. And when I allowed myself to then sink into that sadness like a child, a 2 or 3-year-old, now can I rationalize out all aspects of this situation that happened? Of course I can. I'm a smart girl. But my 3 or 4-year-old doesn't have that. I let my 3 or 4-year-old cry and sob. We called a friend who just held space for us with love. We cried, we sobbed. We said all the things we wanted to say, like, why does it have to be this way? This isn't fair. She thinks I'm someone that I'm not. I howled it out like I was howling to the moon. I let my sorrow out. And then when that was done and I thought about it, I didn't have any feeling in my chest, in my body, which was my beautiful Corda giving me guidance and help, my body. So now let's go back again to forgiveness. So at that point, when I can look at that situation that happened, now without the emotional triggers that come, with just my clarity of mind, now I'm more able to see it wholly, the whole of me. I'm able to look at it. Then my adult mind can come in and can say things that give me that understanding, that clarify the understanding that is there. I think it's part of it to state those facts, to state the facts of the situation, that this person is broken, that she is so disconnected from her higher self, that she was so mistreated when she was young. She was so hurt over and over, and no one ever made it better. She never learned to comfort herself. She never learned to find self-love. I can find my way to that, and that brings compassion. And when my heart starts to soften in compassion, that's when I can feel, I forgive you. I forgive you because you don't have a clue what you're doing. I forgive you because you have closed yourself so far off from all of the beauty of this world, the love that's available to you. I can forgive you. That doesn't mean that I'm going to put up with it. Doesn't mean I'm going to lay down and let her be hateful to me next time. And frig, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to protect my inner child. I'm going to protect myself because I love myself. But it does mean that I can see the perfection of it. That when I look at this situation and I see this practice that I had, and I see what I have learned and how I'm able now to apply this process to so many areas of my life, and I'm able to work myself right through, it is glorious. It is glorious. I do see the perfection, and I can find the unconditional love in my heart for the divinity that is her who is helping me on this journey. And that is a beautiful place to be. And I would invite you all to give this a try. And I wonder for myself, I wonder if the day is going to come when my knowingness, because I have so loved and cherished and held my little girl as she has felt her feelings, I wonder if the day will come when I'm not going to be so passionate about the need to express it. And as I say that, they drop a picture into my mind. And the picture is of children who are taught to process their emotions. And I wasn't taught that. I was taught to suppress them. And I think that my generation, probably the majority of us were, suck it up, buttercup, that kind of a mentality. So we weren't taught that we have the right to the whole cadre of emotion. And so because this is brand new, I feel like I am tending to a child. I'm tending to just this beautiful little girl who didn't learn to get angry and step to the side of her anger, to know she has the absolute right to her anger, to feel validated and loved and powerful and strong in the moment, and her knowing that she has the right to feel the way that she feels. But then there's also the choice of who do I decide to be long term in this life. I don't want to be that person that's angry all the time, that's expressing anger into the world all the time, even with the caveat of it being wrapped in a bubble of beautiful unconditional love. I don't see that as being what I'm going to want long term. I feel like every time one of these circumstances happen that give me this opportunity to honor a different aspect of my emotional self that has not been recognized and experienced, I feel like I'm a step closer to living that authentic life and expressing my authentic self in all circumstances. In all circumstances. So if you find this helpful, please subscribe, maybe send it to a friend that it might help. It's a little different take, I feel like, on forgiveness. Uh, Put a comment down. Tell me where you're from. Tell me if you've got a question about this, and I can do a video of explanation. And I hope all that watch this take a minute and send me just a little bit of good luck and positive energy, because a week from today, I'll be in California doing my retreat. I am so excited. So have a great day, everyone.